G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in over on the west side of the map, it is going to be Vortix, and he's playing the French for us today. His opponent, who spawns in on the opposite side of the map, down towards the southeast side, it is the one, the only, the greatest of all time. It is the Viper. And he's going to be playing a little bit of Chinese for us, so obviously China has been the flavor of the month recently. They have been buffed up in the last patch. Chokunu stronger than ever, and we're looking to see whether Viper's Chinese can actually outdo Vortix's French. Now, I've been watching quite a few games of the Chinese lately. It's very hard to find a game without them, actually, since the most recent buff. So I'm very curious to see how Viper is able to do this game at the moment. Looks like towards the north of the map, Vortix going to be picking up the triple-double, at least the first one of them, and actually going to be finding the second one up here as well on his side of the map. So a little bit unfortunate there for Viper. I don't think... Yeah, that's a crazy good map spawn for Vortix. They're finding 6 sheep before the first minute, essentially. So very, very nice finds for him. Going to be dropping down the house, moving out towards the gold mine as well, which is out here, obviously training up villagers. No second scout coming out for him this early. We'll take a look over at Viper, see what he's up to. Already got the gold mine going. He is not going to be going for any sort of advanced openings with the Imperial Official. At least at this stage. Take a look what's in the queue though right now. He's got one Imperial Official going to be coming out. So is going to be moving over towards the mill, moving over that villager, or rather that sheep as well. He's got a couple of sheep underneath the town center. So I think Viper might have not necessarily dropped the ball, but I think he might have forgotten his Chinese opening. Obviously, the China opening is very different or compared to any other civilization. And it's a little bit more complex. So, you know, if you're playing lots of different civilizations like Viper does, he plays every single civilization and plays them all incredibly well. It's going to be difficult sort of jumping in because you're like, oh, what do I have to do right now? Oh, that's right, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And it makes it hard to remember. And so obviously he's realized now and he's quickly moved over towards the mill and got that Imperial Official over there. So for anybody wondering what that's actually going to do, that's going to buff up the villagers. So instead of, when they drop off 10, it's actually going to give an extra +2 here. So you see that? That should be, well, it normally would be a plus 12 instead of a +10. But because he was gathering, or rather taking out some of the trash from the mill, that's the tax. Instead, that's going to be only the +10. So we'll watch these villagers here as they gather up. Here you go. See, that's +24. So another one dropped off at the same time. That'll be +12. So getting an extra 20% from this supervision ability right here. So 20% more resources dropped off. So very, very nice opening for Viper at this point. Now, going to be moving towards his opponent's side of the map. Only found 1 sheep so far. Obviously not doing particularly well compared to his opponent, who found the triple-double up there towards the north. Look at all the sheep he's got access to. 9 sheep out here right now. He's feeling very good about himself, Vortix is. Going to be going up with the all-important School of Cavalry. The School of Cavalry, you know, you take it probably in 99% of your games. The only time you're really going for the Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber of Secrets, is going to be on those water maps. And potentially, I don't think we've seen it yet really become meta on French Pass, but I do suspect as we start to see the meta become more defensive, and that's one thing to note, as people work things out, you know, we're into the second month now of Age of Empires 4, so as people are slowly working things out, how to counter things, I suspect we're actually going to see the School of Cavalry drop off in its power, and we're probably going to see people going for a lot more of those Chamber of Commerces, and just looking to get a little bit more trading in, so potentially even looking to wall up nice and early, and then getting the trade in. On this map, it's a little bit different, because obviously you've got the trading post that's quite forward. You know, you're obviously going to have to go past this large pass. Now, you will be able to wall this off, but realistically, it makes it difficult for you to be trading on this map. But speaking of this pass, take a look at this. We have actually got a very solid pass here, so I don't actually think... You might be able to get up on this side, but I don't think you're going to be able to get down. Definitely not going to be able to get down. Vortix going to be up now, and yeah, towards the north. So you've really got just one path through here, and it is quite open though. Obviously, it's got the forests in here, so there's 2 ways into your enemy's base, 1 way into Viper's base here, and a big gold mine that sits in the middle with a relic. So super duper nice for him. Barracks going to be going down for Viper, so he's not doing any sort of early second town center shenanigans at this stage. Still sitting on gold, probably going to be looking for a dynasty here. It looks like it actually. I wouldn't be surprised to see that, and does have the scout out over in his enemy's his base, probably looking to shadow his opponent. Does spot the first scout coming out. Now, there are more scouts being made here, and this is part of the, essentially the meta at the moment is professional scouts. Professional scouts is incredibly strong, and we are going to be seeing that coming up undoubtedly right there. So there is professional scouts, followed by survival techniques straight away. I do like this opening from Vortix, very economic, and so part of my thinking is that I feel like almost in every single matchup, in every single in-game, you're going to want to go professional scouts, because if you don't go professional scouts, you lose. Like, that is essentially the bottom line. So, obviously, your enemies are going to be able to deny your scouts. So, you can see there's double scouts already heading down here. There's a single sheep that hasn't been found yet by Viper. Vortix is going to take that and add it to his collection of 46,000 sheep that he's got back here. Dropping down an archery range himself as well. But going to be able to pick these ones up now and denying food from Viper. So, he's taking 700 food here for himself, and he's taking it away from Viper. So it's a net exchange of 1,400 food. Spears now coming out and looking to actually put a bit of pressure on this early hunt. So we'll have to take a look and see whether Viper is looking to get the same upgrade himself. Only going for wheelbarrow, so not going for professional scouts at this point. But Spears moving out, and I think Viper may have expected a little bit of knights, potentially. Spears going to be moving in towards the gold mine, looking to isolate these gold mine villages. And take a look how much gold's already been mined out of this by Vortix. So no spears coming out, or no knights coming out at this stage. A couple of archers going to be here, but I think he might have been going for a professional scout fast castle, which is, you know, what we see with a lot of civilizations. We see it with the Holy Roman Empire, we see it with the Rus, and it's no real surprise that we would begin to see it with the French as well. So now going to be pushing back with that single archer, looking to put a bit of damage onto the hardened spearman. Going to be able to get it out, but keep in mind, the spears are going to be able to hit the scouts, but realistically, they're just going to be able to make it away. They're going to be able to heal up, and, you know, as long as you keep them a safe distance away from the spears, you're going to be okay in most, you know, in most circumstances if the spears are looking to control these hunts, and that's exactly what it looks like Viper is looking to do here. He may not actually realize, but wait, what is this deer doing? This deer's gone for an extra long walk over here. Is it part of this hunt? How many? We got 7 here. Oh, it's probably part of this hunt. I wouldn't be surprised if it's part of this hunt down here. And it's, you know, so what has happened is it's like the deer has said, I want to get over here. And then it's like, okay, well, if I need to like it's tried to walk up here, and it's worked out that that's where it wants to go. And then it's subsequently been like, I'm going to walk around the entire mountain. The alternative is that, I don't think it's part of these deers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? That could be the 7th deer. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, I'm here doing math. 5, 6. That just could be this. No, yeah, you can see it running around like that. I really, I don't know. I got no idea, guys. Viper now coming out with a couple of archers and a couple of spears here, pushing towards the front. A lot of spears actually for Viper. You know what actually would have been a lot more effective in this situation than spears? Just walls. If he brought a single villager out here and just start walling in this hunt, what would his opponents do to that? Like, obviously, you wall this off right here. You could probably even look to wall this here. And now your opponent can't even use their professional scouts to get their own second hunt. And then behind that, you know, you start bringing in the archers, and then that sort of puts the ball in their court. They've got to start asking the questions, all right, well, how do I deal with those walls now? Do I get a ram out? If I need a ram, then I have to get a blacksmith. If I get a blacksmith, then I have to get siege engineering as well. So it's a lot to invest in the early stages of the game, and obviously Viper's just been pushed back here. So, you know, for the price of one of those spears, he probably could have just put a wall in, even if you just want to go for a wall right there, and, you know, allow them to have 1 or 2 deer on this hunt, but then stop the gathering of these ones up. Obviously, he's going to be able to hold for the moment with his food income. He's got all of those sheep. He's got plenty of deer back here from his initial starting hunt, but, you know, it at least puts a little bit of a stop on it in the short term. Viper now, from his perspective, will take a look. Still no professional scouts coming in for him. Doesn't look like we've got a dynasty coming down just yet. We do have the blacksmith. He has opted for the +1 upgrade, so looking to go for archers, trying his best right now, not actually playing for the dynasty, which is what I find really curious. You know, to play the Chinese and to not play the dynasty is a little bit interesting. I think the dynasty is so strong at the moment. There's a lot of great things that you can get going with the dynasty. Obviously, you've got access to the village, you've got access to the Chokunu, and most importantly, your villagers are training super duper fast. So, wait, he does have the dynasty? How does he? Am I blind? These villagers are taking Oh no, they are taking 20 seconds. I thought it said 13. Oh, I was probably, okay. I saw it pop up on the UI. It said 13 seconds. I'm like, hold on a minute. What the heck's going on here? Spears now moving forward, looking to try and get into that forest. You see the Royal Knight mass beginning to build for his opponent. So Vortix realizing that, hey, hold on a minute. I'm probably going to play H2 here. Obviously, dropping down that Blacksmith means that he is going to have that +1 upgrade coming in. We can see he's actually got Siege Engineering being researched here. So not mucking around when it, and going to be able to clean up Viper's initial push here. Now, I would say at this point in time, Vortix is at a significant advantage compared to Viper. Number one, he's training villagers faster than Viper is. He's sitting on 39 villagers at the moment. Viper currently sits on 35. Now, obviously, he's got an IO out as well, so technically 36. But keep in mind, he could have gone for a Dynasty, and he could have got super duper cheap or super quick villagers coming out there. Now, one of the things to note is he's playing against French, and Professional Scouts is incredibly good against French because the French player could look at raiding you over this way, and if the French player even thinks for a second that you might be out here over on these berries, they could send out their knights out there, and in the blink of an eye, all your villagers are dead. So that is one thing to consider. It looks like the sheep is going to try its best to make its way slowly back towards the base of Vortix. But now Vortix is continuing heading down here towards this, where is it? Over here. Another sheep is down here in this direction, but Viper sort of being stuck in his base a little bit, and not really, I would say at this point, Viper really not doing much of anything here. Like, obviously he's going for H2 army, but you got to ask the question, okay, is he doing 2TC? No. Has he gone for Quick Dynasty? No. Is he going Fast Castle? No. Is he making Chokunu? Well, no, he can't because he didn't go for a Dynasty. So what's he doing? Well, he's basically just playing Age 2 defensive. Ram's coming in now. He's got archers. He's got his spears out. He's got the +1 upgrades at range. But that's about it. There's not anything else really going on for him. There's no real win condition at the moment. I feel like he's just biding his time, but as I mentioned, there's no real win condition that's coming out. Spears need to get up on the front line. He's got to be careful right now as Viper looks to be struggling a little bit, falling underneath his Barbican of the Sun. He's going to manage to make it back out. Spears coming in, but look at all the archers here in here for his opponent. Vortix looking very strong here, and the battering ram going to slowly begin working down on this front, and Viper trying his best to hold on, using the nice little corridor that he's got here between the barracks, the house, and the Barbican, and doing a great job. We see the spears looking to come out right now, and Barbican going to be doing its best. You can see it firing down at those enemy units, and slowly we've got a push coming out. Now the villagers coming outside of the Barbican. There's an Imperial official in there as well, but it doesn't have the ability to siege or attack or anything like that. So it's just going to be standing there watching, supervising, so to say, what the enemy is doing. But Viper in a difficult spot, and this is looking like pre-patch China at the moment. It looks like it feels terrible playing pre-patch China, but when you don't go for these fast dynasties as China, it really makes it so difficult for you to deal with the Royal Knights of your opponent. Viper now managing to get inside the town center. You can see he's got a couple villagers, a couple archers in here, so manages to keep them alive. Villagers going to come back out here. Villagers running in towards the enemy. Viper, wake up, my friend. Oh, this has been a terrible episode of Viper Watch. At this point in time, I feel like we should just be watching Vortix. We want to back the winner here, Viper. We don't want to back the loser. You can do it, Viper. He's down 600 score at the moment. It's not looking pretty for Viper at this point. Archers looking to trade out with one another, but you got to really ask that question. He's Vortix on 45 villagers at the moment. 36 villagers now for Viper, and Viper having a bit of a tough time as he is going to lose the rest of his archers here to a single knight that begins to hit away at the knights, or at the archers of his enemy. Now getting an archery range on the back line, double archery range, and Viper looking like he's having, this might be his first game of the night, might be a warm-up game. Maybe that's what we've got going on here. It wouldn't really surprise me because it looks like Vortix is tearing him apart at this point. Obviously, the battering ram does manage to get away. Do we have a villager that comes out to heal it? I'd like to see just a single villager coming out and healing this battering ram, but obviously, I mean, you can just keep it in the back, that sort of thing. Try and keep it away from the villagers. It's going to make a lot more, make it a bit easier for you, and then you don't really have to worry about that villager. Okay, now we've got the archers going to be coming out, looking to put on a bit more damage. Keep in mind, these guys are only doing 2 damage a pop. So if Viper had gone for that fast dynasty, you can imagine that he would be doing a lot more, technically 50% more damage to these with Chokunu, because the Chokunu, even though they've got less damage, they actually have a burst rate of fire. So it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 that they're doing instead of 1 attack. So they're doing a minimum of 1 damage guaranteed to those units, and subsequently it means there's 3 damage. They also have a faster rate of fire as well, so you can see 1.5 attack speed. The Chokunu, I think it's got 1.25, so it's very, very quick compared to the Archer. Now the 3 battering rams going to be coming in, looking to put some hurt onto Viper's infrastructure. He's got plenty of infrastructure back here, a lot of farms already, but keep in mind, every single dollar he's spent, every piece of wood that he has put into these farms, his enemy has been able to put into units, because he has got instead all of those deer sitting underneath the safety of his town center. It means that his villagers out here where they are relatively unsafe, he's not going to have to worry about them. Vortix isn't, because he is he's sitting safely underneath the town center. So it really shows how strong professional scouts are. On top of that, obviously, he's stolen away a lot of Viper's hunts here as well. There is another hunt down here that I don't think has been touched just yet, but obviously, the longer the game goes on, the more and more that's going to be taken as we see units continuing to be rallied towards the middle. Villagers looking to get into the mix as well, and you've got to really ask the question, Viper, if you're fighting out with villagers against 3 rams, oh my lord, that feels terrible. Oh, doesn't that feel the worst? Those villagers all going to be going down. So Viper's still sitting on 1 TC at this point. You can see the score lead for Vortix beginning to build, and this really goes to show how important it is for you to start a dynasty in Age of Empires 4 when playing the Chinese. If you don't go for that dynasty, you're really on the back foot. You got to have some sort of something to set you apart, or some sort of goal that you got to be going for. Whether it's the dynasty, whether it's the fast castle age, whether it's the second town center coming up before 5 minutes. And look, don't get me wrong, Viper is an incredibly good player, but really it just goes to show that if you don't have that sort of game plan, if you're not thinking about the what your enemy's going to potentially throw at you and the way that you're going to look to counter it, it's going to be difficult. Vortix now reaching the next age as well, so going to be sitting up in age 3, and Viper actually taps out. Vortix is victorious. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this game, make sure you check out Viper. I'll leave a link in the description to his YouTube channel, so make sure you go say g'day, and I hope that you've enjoyed this game. I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.